Met a girl in Oakland, but I don't wanna say her name.
Hey guys and dolls, welcome back. It's me, Cora. I'll be doing a video with the Manny MUA palette from Makeup Geek. First of all, let's just get some swatching out of the way. The first color is Aphrodite, followed by Mars, and then Insomnia. And then the second row is Frappe, Sora, and Cosmopolitan. The final row is Luna, Beaches and Cream, and Artemis. And Luna, that beautiful rose gold, that made my life. I can't believe I didn't use that in this tutorial. It is a dirty shame. So for today's look, I was really just kind of messing around. I didn't have any like set idea of what I was going to do. This is one of my playtime videos where I have an idea of the products I'm going to use, kind of, sort of. I just kind of lay a couple things out and then just kind of go ham and do whatever. So towards the end of the video, you're actually going to see me undo some of what I yeah. I tried something and then I ended up not liking it, but that's the great thing about makeup. You can undo it at any time. So I'm starting out with Sora in my crease. It's a beautiful orange eyeshadow. It's like a muted orange, not like crazy town orange. And then for my highlight, I'm taking Babyface, which is an existing Makeup Geek eyeshadow. And then I wanted to show that I really blended those two together. I'm using a MAC 217, great for doing kind of soft crease work. Now I'm using a Sonia Kashuk brush and Mars, and oh my gosh, this eyeshadow is so pretty. So I put Sora down first because it's a little bit on it's more on the orange scale of neutral. So I wanted to put that down to make a little bit more of a warm toned eyeshadow. It is more of like a berry pink red, which I love. I absolutely adore about it. And it also, I want to mention, it doesn't stain my eyelids. I was floored by this. Now I'm taking Aphrodite and I'm just picking it up on one side of the brush. See? Not one, and then the other. Yeah. Wax on, wax off. And I'm going to blend that into my deep crease. I'm going to create a great burgundy color when mixed with Mars. This really surprised me because in the pan it looks mostly brown, but as I blended it, it almost looked like a purpley brown. It was really, really gorgeous. At this point, I just decided to go all in with Mars and just really layer it up, make it look super intense. Because before I was kind of like, let me see how it works out, and so I didn't pick up as much product, and then I was like, nope, we're doing it. So I layered that on. I also continued to blend the edges of that out with the brush that I had picked up Sora with. It's always important to blend throughout the look. Sometimes, you know, you get kind of caught up in the placement or something, whatever happens. And so you don't end up going back and blending. Like I'm picking up my brush that I had my highlight on and I'm reblending. It's always a good idea because that way throughout the look, it maintains its softness, if that's what you're going for. Of course, if you're going for like a harsh cut crease, that's a totally different situation. You still are probably going to want to blend parts of that though. So now I am cleaning up the outer edge because I'm going to do a winged liner. So I didn't want that super soft edge. I wanted to create a slightly different shape. So I just took a little bit of Bioderma and these really cool pointed Q-tips I got at the drugstore. I actually filmed a drugstore haul before this. So if you see a drugstore haul with stuff that I'm using here, but you see it like a week and a half from now, it's just because I pre-filmed a whole bunch of videos, so they're kind of getting uploaded out of order. I was so excited about this look. I was like, nope, we are uploading this first. So now I'm just taking a brown eyeshadow base. This is one from Milani. So moving on, I am now using a Makeup Geek eyeshadow that's not from the palette. This is Steampunk. It's one of their duochrome eyeshadows. And it's interesting because in the pan, it just kind of looks like a nice shimmery brown eyeshadow. As you apply it, you start to see that it has this sort of peachy fire to it. And the base shade is kind of like a bluish black. It's interesting, like you can kind of see it there a little bit where it looks deeper where the light's not hitting it, where the curvature of my eye is. It's very, very cool. So now I'm taking I'm Peachless, which is another duochrome eyeshadow, and I'm layering it over the brown base. And at this point, I don't know why, but it looked chalky. It didn't look chalky in person, but on camera it does. And I think it's just because it's such a light eyeshadow on top of a dark base. But by the end of the look, it's all going to look fine. So don't you worry your little heart about it. Now I'm taking another Milani Shadow Ice pencil in Almond Cream and a little teeny tiny MAC 228 brush. I just wanted to put down a base before I put down Makeup Geek Phantom. Amazing, amazing violet highlight. And so now I'm just taking a Wayne Goss pencil brush and I'm just enhancing Aphrodite in that outer corner and making sure that's nice and well blended. Kind of going in there a little delicately. Sometimes you just take a little tip of product right there on the end. And I'm just defining that whole kind of the line in between Mars and steampunk, which sounds like a really cool sci-fi. The line between Mars and steampunk. Coming to a theater near you. And, oh, by the way, this brush that I've been using, this is a Wet n Wild brush, also in my drugstore haul, coming up next week. Now I'm taking Aphrodite eyeshadow just right under the peak of my brow. I know my brows look like a mess, yet I haven't quite filled them in. For my base, I'm using the Kiehl's Superfluid, which works pretty darn good as a primer, and it's a sunscreen, so it's just a nice little guy to use. And I'm realizing I have like this huge zit on my chin. You know when you have one and it's like huge and it's brewing and you know it's gonna be heinous and you're so sad, like you discover it, you're like, oh man. Yeah, so I gotta give him a nice name. I'm gonna call him Bernard. You guys know I like to name my zits. They're little friends. They're gonna, spend the next, 3 to 7 days with you, so you might as well introduce yourselves, get to know one another. I'm totally kidding. It sucks. It just makes me feel better about it. Then I'm just, putting my foundation all over my face as you do. I will have a list of everything I use in the description bar down below because it just occurred to me I talked over that whole part. So yeah, I'm covering up all my zits. That's Bernard. The one above my lip is Marcia. I named her in a previous video. That's not a zit. That is a freckle. Just so you know. This concealer from NYX is really good. I'm quite impressed with that. When I first got it, I was like, it's okay. And then I sort of forced myself to use it a little bit just to really get a read on how much I liked it. And it's working out pretty well for me so far. Taking the tip end of my beauty blender to blend out all my zits. And around my nose and my under eye and, pretty much everywhere I put concealer, I then blend it. I'm being sarcastic with myself, don't mind me. On top of my concealer, I am using my Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder to set my concealer. I'm also going to use this on my nose, my chin. I don't know why. Sometimes I just like to use products differently than how I usually use them. And I think I put powder on the rest of my face. I must have, because I always do. But apparently I didn't film it. So now we're doing contour. This is the Bold Metals Collection brush from Real Techniques and my trusty NYX Taupe blush. I apologize if this stuff is discontinued. It's just, it really blows. I know NYX has a new HD blush called Taupe, but it's not the same. It's not. Don't let them tell you that. It's different. For my eyebrows, I'm using the Milani Brow Tint Pen in Natural Taupe. I've been really liking this lately because it gives me a very natural looking brow fill. My natural brows are an ash, blondish, brownish, no color. So I need to give them a red tint so they mesh well with my hair color. So I like doing this because depth-wise it's about the same as my natural brows, but it's a more red tone. And then I go over them with this dark brow gel, which really defines the individual brow hairs. I think it looks so beautiful. And then I'm just taking one of those little pointed Q-tips and cleaning up the shape. I have this one little brow hair that's like thicker and longer and wiry than the other ones, so it takes some taming some days. For my lower lash line, I'm taking Stomper from ColourPop. It's a beautiful brown eyeliner, and I had it twisted up way too far. I'm like watching this and getting nervous. I'm like, girl, you need to twist that back down. It's going to break off. They're delicate, but they're beautiful. So placing that all over the lower lash line, and I was relatively delicate with the outer corner, and I went heavier on the inner corner at first. And I think I mentioned this earlier in this commentary, I'm not sure. Throughout this look, I was, playing around, so I didn't really have a set idea. So I was trying things. I was like, okay, that looks kind of cool. That was fun. But then I ended up covering it up and going ham on the bottom. So you can choose to follow the original or what I end up doing. It doesn't really matter. So now I am doing my winged liner very delicately. This is the Delium Tools 762. I cannot recommend this eyeliner brush enough. It's tiny, it's delicate, and it's really easy to use, and it's not all that expensive. I think it's like $9. The freedom this gives me to do really delicate work is quite awesome for the price point. Placed steampunk all over the lower lash line, and then I was like, nah. So I'm taking Insomnia, which I think works so much better, and it has a nice reflection from the lid. You know, you have like your reds and your bronzes on the lid, and then you have this beautiful, like crazy pigmented duochrome. It's really like metallic. And so I did this little like wing thing. Wasn't sure if I was gonna love it. This lash curler is from the drugstore. I cannot believe it. First of all, it is beautiful. Truly, truly beautiful. It has a little bit of a different handle than what I'm used to, and it curls my lashes beautifully. This is also part of that drugstore haul that's going to be coming up in a week or so. Then a little mascara. Lately, I haven't been using my tubing mascaras. Oh my god. I know, I'm obsessed with tubing mascara, but sometimes you just want a good mascara. You want volume and length and all those things that as good as tubing mascaras can be and as great as they are for not smudging, just compared to the things that other mascaras can do. You know, the tubing mascara, I think it's because it dries so hard, it just can't deliver the same volume and length as traditional mascara. So my lashes today are from Kiss. These are called Lily. They're light and beautiful, and oh my gosh, I am obsessed. They have a very luxe look, but they're only about $5. So I definitely want to go back to the drugstore when these are on sale and stock up on them. They had like a whole display, and this is also part of my drugstore haul, by the way. They had this whole like Lily and Daisy and Tulip and like all these like flowery names. Here's something that I kind of tried and ended up not going with. I did this like straight line out with the red, which was cool. And again, I was kind of going back and forth between, do I do a grungy look? Do I do a glam look? I'm not sure. Taking my hair down for my little headband. For blush, I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm going to erase the thing with my eyes. So let's do blush first. This is Infatuation from Makeup Geek. This is definitely a Makeup Geek heavy tutorial. I love their products. I don't use them enough in my videos, and I just thought this was a good excuse to just kind of go ham with Makeup Geek. And then I think this is Rendezvous that I'm taking. I don't use this plummy blush very often, but Infatuation was just a little too warm for me today, so I decided to cool it down before I lose control. For lips today, I'm using a new Makeup Forever product. I'm not sure this has come out yet. This is the Pro Sculpting Lip. They sent me a little PR box, and this was in there, and I was like, oh my god, I love the color. And then here's something I was never shown in a video, which is me putting in my nose ring. I don't wear it all the time, which is why sometimes when I wear them, you guys are like, wait, you had your nose pierced? Holy bejesus, that hurts. And then I did this thing where I took the mascara wand and pressed it into my lower lash line to get those little dots that you saw at the intro. Not really sure. Speaking of the intro, what did you guys think of the intro music for this video? I'm obsessed with that song. I found it, I was like cruising royalty free music, and I found that and I was like, oh my gosh, this is my perfect like intro music. So now I am just contouring my nose with a little bit of that NYX powder, and I'm using a sugar pill brush to do that. For highlight, I'm taking Artemis on just the top of my nose, blending it out with my beauty blender. Then I'm going to take it on the top of my Cupid's bow. This is a great highlight, actually. Really good texture. I don't know if they intended it for me to use it all over my face, but I'm gonna. I mean, it's all powder and paint. You can do whatever you want with it. I put it on my chin, though, and I should not have done that because it highlighted Bernard. Bernard is, like, in full effect now. Then, you know, general highlighting, adding a little bit more of that violet-y duochrome color to really enhance it. I think I added a little bit of I'm Peachless too, but I don't think that got... At this point, I decided I didn't like that red wing out. I was like, the grunge thing's cool and everything, but not really. So I did this off camera, I'm sorry. I took some Bioderma and took the red stuff off, and then I'm taking my concealer from earlier and just kind of cleaning that up. That's the cool thing about makeup. I mean, you can always like remove one portion of it and then try something else. You can see there the difference between the two. I mean, the original was cool, but I think it looks better without it. I think you get a better chance to really see the delicate wing liner and everything when that big strip of red isn't there. But I tried something, it just didn't work out. And that's it. I hope that you're having a fantastic day. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Remember to be vintage or tacky. Just be your own kind of beautiful. See you, bye.